Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Today we're going to look at something a little bit different, and if you're there Viking, let me know. So, it's that special day when we get some assets. So, to have a look at our assets for January, just go to the marketplace. Scroll down just a little bit and you get the free for a month. So this month we have trace detection plugin. We have a whole load of animations which I'm actually going to have a look at. The procedural biomes, triplex house villa, and a sound effect pack for magic and spell sounds. So you can have a look at these. And you can see that's on a sword, and this is a plug-in to the engine, so that could be useful for some people, I'm sure. We have this animations bundle, and this animations bundle is actually quite a few different animation packs together. There's this cardio machines gym animations, there's the ultimate game animation set version 3, version 2, and game animation call, which is I think it's all gun stuff, right? I had a quick look at it, but there's lots of stuff in there, lots of animations for all sorts of stuff, as well as this gym machines thing, which is quite of limited use, but might be something that you might be able to use. Procedural biomes, haven't had a look at that, but just remember guys, add this to your cart, check it out, and you'll have it in your repository. So if Viking is in here, let me know please. But I came across an article on YouTube, and then I did a little bit of investigation, a little bit of testing, and this might come in very handy for some people out there. And I need to send somebody a link, so give me 1 second. Apparently I've taken money out of a crypto account that I don't even have. Thanks email for telling me that. And okay, so I've sent somebody a link, so hopefully they're going to join us at some point very soon. Okay, so I came across an article on YouTube. Okay, and I have been testing out that thing earlier today, and it is an AI, but it ain't just any AI. Okay, so I typed in who was Talos. Talos was a giant automaton, humanoid robot, blah 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 blah. Okay. Now you might think, okay, well, that's good, but that is just basically a Google search. Well, let's take it a step further. Say I wanted to write a Kickstarter, write the page, okay, what I could say is create a Kickstarter for a Viking survival game called Groenland. And here it goes. And you can see from that, it gives us quite a comprehensive list. Okay. Now, we can actually refine that, right? So we can type that in a game. And say features include hunting, fishing, and let's say crafting. Then let's say male or female protagonist, and we'll tell it to create a campaign for us. And there you go. Okay, now you might think, okay, that's pretty good, not bad. But what can that bring for us to Unreal Engine? Well, okay, let's ask it something else. Okay, so what will we ask it? We'll say, okay, create a bubble sort function for Unreal Engine in C++. Now, if anybody doesn't know what a bubble sort is, it's just basically a simple algorithm that sorts something into like numerical order, or, well, in this case it's going to be numerical order, right? Now, not only is it going to write this data for us, it tells us how it works. And it tells us how to use it. Okay, so there you go. We can copy that code and put it straight into a C++ function in Unreal Engine. Or the other way we could do it is, if you know anything about C++, we could just convert this to a blueprint. Okay. Basically that's a for next loop, that's a for loop, that's a branch, and that is an array swap. Okay, and that is the function with two variables. That is the array, that is the size of the array. Okay. Okay, so I've got it to do some C++ code for us. What if create something a bit more complicated? Say we wanted to do to create a wall running function for Unreal Engine. It basically gives us instruction and then it actually writes it out for us in C++. Okay, now say we didn't want that, say we wanted just to give us the C++, right? We could just do this. We can have a look through this and see what it's doing, right? And we could convert that to a blueprint. But if we do C++, right, and you can see that not only is it writing the code for us, it actually comments the code. Okay, now I did have it a bit better. Function for the calculations of what you actually get. Right, so as I said, this gave us a better answer earlier, where it actually added checking the wall normal and then applying the force against the wall, and it actually managed to do it. Right, now the other thing we could do is, if anybody out there is watching the stream and wants to, hi game Devlog Studio, how you doing? Right, so we can actually get it to create C++ for us, right? And you can either implement that as C++, or you can convert it, if you know enough, to a blueprint and just use that, right? I wanted to show you this, where it actually creates, I might have it, no I don't, create wall running in Unreal engine with wall normal with C++. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's not good. Right, what we'd really want to do is redo this so it gives us a full answer. Right. And you can see that this is going to pump out. I think we've just, software developers have just became redundant the way this works. Okay. Now, I've only just tested this out for about half an hour, but I'm blown away by what this can do. It's crazy. So you can, what makes an indie game successful? Okay, so this can lead you to other questions, right? Good marketing and promotion. Right? So you could say how, you can say tell me the best way to market an indie video game on a minuscule budget. I mean, these are just things that would normally come up anyway, but you should really try and cover these bases where possible, and it might come up with one or two that you haven't thought of before, right? Now, what you can actually now do, write a story about a Viking leaving Scandinavia and travelling to Greenland where they have to survive in harsh conditions. Set in the, let's say, 10th century. Now what I've been doing with this is gradually adding bits and bobs to each thing that refining it slightly. Right, now I'm not saying this is going to write the story for you, but it's going to give you a broad outline of some of the things that you can say. Okay, so if we do it again now, we can paste that back in. We can do that, and it's going to refine the story slightly. And this is where I started having a bit of fun with it. Well, I did a couple more things, added a few more things. Now, obviously, you would go through this and basically change it round about where things didn't hang in with your story. You can see it's added it here. Set about hunting, gathering food to sustain. His bull proved to be an invaluable tool, allowing him to bring down the game he needed to survive. His skills with the bow had earned him the admiration of his peers. Blah 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 blah. Right, now what we can do now is suggest actors for as I said, this is where it starts getting a bit fun. Adaptation. So it's going to go through and write all the stuff, and then it's going to give us it's going to give us a suggestion for some actors. Right? So it's actually going to have, well, this might only be one, right? But if you actually start saying like specific things, like if you mention their father or their mother or their sister, it'll actually start making individual characters for them and give them names. And then at the end it will supply actors for them. Right? Oh, it's not giving us the actors. Right, set in the 10th century. has to find father and sister give suggestions for actors in film adaptations. Right? So for the case of like a game or whatever, you can basically go around and add to this. Obviously for the Kickstarter you can add features, remove features, give it as much as possible and let it come up with something. Right, here we go. Chris Hemsworth. I'm guessing that's Tom Hiddleston. But it didn't give us, right, earlier on, in my little first play about with this, it was giving me actors for the mother, for the father and for the sister and all that as well. Right, so we can go copy that. We also have, they also have to survive the strange infected of the new land. Oh, so it's got the father and sister on a trading mission to Greenland. And you had to go find them, determine to what family host in, what costs, journey, treacherous, blah blah blah. Here's the bit with the strange creatures roaming the land infected with a mysterious deadly illness. And apparently his father and sister have been killed captive by a random rival clan, which gives us another character, right? The rival clan's leader. So we've got Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston. Okay, so this, by the way, guys, is called Chat GPT. Or GTP? GPT. Chat GPT. It's this thing here. Okay. Now, the other crazy thing that you can do with this is adapt story into the 5 most popular languages. Now this should be interesting. Oh, it's given us a sister this time, and Stellan Skarsgård, his father. Right, so we're now getting it in French. Now, if there's any of you guys out there that speak French, tell me if that is actually decent or not. I'll actually check this out, my wife and her Spanish. We're getting it in Spanish. Those seem to be very short. And it only gave us 3. And the English one seems to be a heck of a lot longer for some reason. Okay, so that, guys, is ChatGPT. You need to sign up for it, etc, etc. Only takes a minute or 2, but you can get some various interesting stuff. Now, what I wanted to do now, this is limited, I would think, by a lot of your own imagination. So you're going to constantly come up with things. Create a logic puzzle. Okay, so it'll do that. Create a puzzle in a graphical format. Oh my god, it's writing it. It's giving us a code for it as well. Okay. Create a logic puzzle in C++. I'm going to be using human AI. I've not started on it yet, but we're going to start in a minute. Jerome? Okay, whatever. Right, so you can obviously use this for a whole number of things. You can use it to create C++ for you if you want a function and it's going to work, or you can convert it to a blueprint with a logic or whatever. You can create stories, you can create Kickstarter stuff, you can create whatever the heck you like. Very, very interesting and possibly very, very useful thing. Okay, so last night we were using our human AI, which my colleague added to this project, and we have our guy. He has a bed. This is his bed, right? Now, for the sake of Jerome, I'm going to see if I can find this asset. Oh, it's not going to be A. Apparently it's not going to be that either. Is it Daily Life AI? Yeah, this is it here. It's Daily Life AI. It's this one here. Okay. So, we have been adapting it to use our time. Okay. So, basically what I've done is I've brought this NPC in. He's using the basic mannequin animations, so I retargeted them to our Viking character. I put down a bed, and then I told this NPC when he was going to sleep. So he's going to sleep at 9 AM till 10 AM, and I told him that's his bed, right? So in effect, if I press play, he will wander about, right? And we'll go over to the bed, and you'll see that it's 8:09. So we're gradually waiting on him. At 9 o'clock, he is basically going to turn around and come back and go to bed, right? As you can see, there he is wandering about. He's got a hunger bar, which we're not using, right? You don't need to use all the things. He's not got a workplace, although you can give him one. Now, we do have an issue, but we're going to have a look at that. So, in about 6 seconds time, he's going to turn around and head for bed. About now. Here he comes. Okay, so he's going to head for bed now, and we have a problem that we're going to have to fight. Yeah, we've got a goat there. There's also a stag, and there's also a deer. So he's going to go to bed now. The problem there is he disappears. Now, I don't think he's disappeared. I think the animation basically is taking him under the ground because I didn't retarget the animations, right, you'll notice here, he's here, and you'll notice he's fallen. So he's fallen through the ground, which is the problem, right? You can see that flashing loads of numbers, right? Hi Ken, how you doing, bud? So basically I'm going to have to retarget the animations for our human AI. Okay, and I'm going to have to try and remember where I put these damn things. I'm pretty... was it Viking main? It wasn't under here. It was under the NPC, I believe. Or was it? The animations are definitely in here somewhere. Right. These are the individual animations, and these are actually targeted. These are targeted at the mannequin. Right. So what I'm going to have to do is retarget all of these. Right. And I believe it's to the Viking skeleton. Okay. Now, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to think about this, because we need... we'll say Viking skeleton animations. Right, so what we'll do is these are going to be in here. So we're going to have to drag these into here. Okay. And now, when our blueprint, when our AI decides that it wants to do a montage, we're going to have to give it the right montage. Right, so we can see that that's the stop animation montage. So we're going to have to see where it actually gets the montages from. Right. And possibly the best idea is try and find out where this is used. Ah, it's an NPC bed. Okay. Okay. So let's have a look. And it has got this. Now, I'm interested in finding out if I swap out this with this. If that's going to solve our problem. So if we press play, we've got to wait basically for a minute. We should have actually tested that out. I don't know, Kent, if you saw the earlier stuff where I was basically creating Kickstarters for in 3 seconds, and I was creating wall running functions in C++ in 3 seconds and stuff like that. Right, so we want him to come back in 20 minutes, which is 20 seconds. In our time, right, he is coming back, and he should be coming back about now. Here he comes. It's going to take him a minute or two to get here. If this was me, I would very possibly add some code in here that stops him from wandering too far away from his bed, which wouldn't be that hard to do. So now let's see what he does. Apparently he still falls through the floor. Oh, that's interesting. What I want to do right, okay, whatever. So it just basically slams them into the ground. That's interesting. Okay, so that's just a big super long line there still, and I'm guessing that is just, you would need 3, right? Because you need to go down to sleep, then a sleeping, right? And then I get up from sleep, which would probably be just the go to sleep reversed. Right, but the way they've done it is just basically to make it happen really fast and then a big long sleep. Right, because, yeah, that's exactly what they've done. All they've done is added the start part. Right, okay. I mean, there's no reason you couldn't do this for somewhere else. The only problem is, of course, that this animation is now if we play, right, let's go to bed again, right? If we go to the bed again, and montage to play, now I'm going to try and think, see how he does that really quick as well. Now, I don't know if this is going to take him through the ground or not, to be fair. And maybe we need to actually adjust the capsule collider on this. Right, unfortunately, I suppose we could, right? We could adjust this, the input on his, at the moment, right, the NPC can only react on hours, right? Now, there's not actually any reason it has to be. I think it was for simplicity's sake to start with. Right, now we could actually change that. So that you could actually tell them at 9:20 to go to bed or 8:20. Right, so you can see here, he should be go down to beggar. And he's just fallen through. So it looks to me that we need to adjust the capsule. On this. Right, so let's say 100. Try that. sure about this, but anyway. Where is he? It's not time yet. Yeah, this is getting annoying. I'm going to have to change that. We're going to have to send them to bed at 20 past 8 or something. And he wanders far too far away. That's bleeding annoying. And he's still falling to the ground, which is crap. And it's definitely the animation that's doing it. So it's like the animations should be in place, but we'll go to what we're going to do so we don't screw this all up is we'll go to the bed, right, and we'll change it back to what it originally was, right, which is the sleeping montage, right, but in our Aladius, there's various ways you can do it, bud. Depends how you want to do it. If you're doing it as a progress bar, all you do is the progress bar is the back, and you make the pips opaque, and then you just work it in reverse. Right, so what I was going to do here, right, was in bed, right, we get our, wait a minute, it depends what you're doing, Aladius. There's no simplest way of doing things, it just, right, just for the display. Right, and that's just the mesh. Okay. I'm guessing we need to move this up a bit. Actually, that shouldn't be there. I'm guessing. Right, I'll tell you what. Let's say 50. Okay, now our NPC, what we're going to do is we're going to change his start sleeping hour, right, to 8:20 to 1000, and it's not allowing us to put them in. No. Okay, let's say from 8 till 9. Did we start at 8? Yeah, we do. So we should go straight to bed, which she's doing. Okay, now right, so we need to go back to the bed and change that back. Alright. Save that. Let's have a look. There we go. Now you should get back up. At 9 o'clock. And there it goes. Okay. Now, as I said, the way I would do this is depending on the sizes of the places we've got, I would give him a certain distance that he's allowed to travel away from the bed. Right? But as you see there, it is working. Right, now he's going to return to bed at 8 o'clock next morning. Okay, now we would have to do changes to that integer. We can leave it as an integer, but it's not going to be clamped to 24. The clamp to 24 is because it's using its own time, whereas I've changed it to use our time. Now, there's no reason, I believe. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do. If we look in models, right, and we want and it's apparently not in there. Okay, I believe Okay. Right, I wanted a bed, but apparently I'm not getting a bed. It might be in here. Apparently it's not. Right. So actually, if I go into here, there we go. There's the bed. Okay, you made one in here, did you? Well. Well, apparently. It ain't there. Blueprints, interactions. Well. Yeah, well, it's not there. Just got S in bed. Okay, well. If we look in interactable items, this bed, oh damn it. Right, back here, bed. The object mesh isn't in there, which means only one thing. It's in here. Right. So it's the bed here, so it's this one here. Okay. Well, apparently I put them into categorised. Or used. One of the two. Right. Wow. that makes them fall under the ground again. Okay, bed is in bed 02A. Maybe this is too, maybe the bed's too low. Right, I'm going to undo that, right? And what we're going to do is select the bed itself, right? Because maybe the bed was too low to the ground actually. Apparently not. It's this animation pivot point thing. Wow, he's got nice purple gear on there. Okay, well it is working. Time for a cigarette, guys. So if you're enjoying the stream, hit like and subscribe. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Check out the description for Discord, Patreon and my previous game on Steam. I shall be right back. Okay, so we are back. We've got a couple of ideas on this one, Kent. Don't worry about it. We can always do our own sleep one, which we've already got. We can retarget that as well. Use that one. But my main concern actually is, I'm going to show you in a minute when I find it. It is the AIC controller, right? Close all these down so I know where I am. Right, if we go back in here, not here, if we go back into our human AI thing, right, and we look at this. Okay, so this is where I implemented our time system and replaced their time system. Okay, so we can basically delete that and delete that, because that was just to show me at the time. Right, now, I don't like this event tick. Right, and the strangest thing is, and the weirdest thing about it is, it's got a delay on it of 5 seconds straight away. Right, so every event tick has a 5-second delay on it, which is, to me, a bit crap. So, we're going to fix it. And the way we're going to fix it is the way we did the clock, right? So, if we go to the clock and we go to the graph, right, what it does is get time speed from dynamic sky, right, then we divide 1 by that number and set the timer on that. Okay, so that's exactly what we want to do. Okay, so if we go back in here, right, if we paste that there, we do the exact same thing. And what we call this? This is basically check, hunger, and sleep. We're going to go dynamic sky in there. Then God, I've completely forgot. My main went blank there for adding a custom event. Right? So we're going to copy this. We're going to rename this. Now, by doing this, we're checking every second, which is the amount the clock is changing in seconds, in minutes, sorry, right? So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap this for this. So rather than 60 times a second, we're only going to do it every second, right? Which is still going to have the same effect, but it's going to save us a heck of a lot of time or calculations, right? So if we press play now, it should exactly have the same effect, as you can see, but it's not on event tick anymore. Now, other interesting thing we could do is, the fact of the matter is that this is only checking every hour, right? Because this is an integer and it's only doing it every hour. Okay, so in effect this actually only needs to run 60 divided by that number, and it's still going to give us the same result, right? So if we try that, right, there's one thing we need to do first though, right? Because we have to run it first, right, in case it needs to update immediately. So we need to say check hunger and sleep. Okay, because basically it'll set that up at a minute, but we want it to check first, right? Now he should go to bed. There we go. And I'm going to stop that for a second, because what I want to do is I want to check what this number actually says, right? And that's going to tell us how often this is running. So yeah, it's running every 60 seconds, a minute, right? And a minute or 60 seconds in game is an hour on the clock, right? Now, since our NPC only checks on the hour, right, then that works. So rather than running 60 frames a second, right, which is this event tick, so rather than doing that, I am actually running it once per minute, and it achieves the same result. Okay. So in 60 seconds he should get back up again. So you can now imagine if you had 100 characters all on event tick, that's going to cripple your game, right? But now we've got it only runs once per minute. Right, because it only needs to check once per hour. Okay. So he should be getting up just shortly. He should get up about now. There you go. And the reason he doesn't get up immediately, right, is because of this delay. Okay? But I'm going to say that's a much better solution. Okay. So our next thing would be, I'm going to test this, right? What we want him to do is we want, if you talk to him, he will answer. But he'll say something like, I'm too busy or something like that, right? He's non-interactable, but will say something. Okay, now that is actually going to be a little bit different because he's actually a character and not an actor. Okay, let's have a think about this and let's try a couple of things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get our blueprints. We've got our NPC. What we're going to do is we're going to duplicate it, right? And we're going to call it NPC test. Okay, now our next thing we're going to do and I think this is going to completely screw everything up. We would have to make him reparent, right, to more I'm going to say yes. Yeah, I thought that. Although having said that, we don't need that. Right, so what we could actually do here is basically not do that. Right, I don't think this is going to work anyway. I think I'm going to have to create a new thing. It would make sense anyway, because at the end of the day you would want for these characters not to say the same thing over and over again, so you'd want it from like a string table or a data table. Right. Now, the interesting thing now is, yeah, these are static meshes, whereas we actually need, yeah, okay, that's not going to work. Right, doing a little bit of testing on that one. So we'd have to be able to create an interactable well, we've already got an interactable SK, right, in the form of a dead animal. So we should be able to do something regarding these. I don't know what BTs are. Now, I'm going to do that again, right? And I'm going to call this SK test. Right? And interactable item SK. Now this is still doing, obviously going to do this weird stuff regarding the mannequin, which isn't helping anything. Okay. So skeletal mesh is right. If we go to, I believe it's this one. No, it's not that one. It's Viking main, I believe. Okay. that. I wonder what he's going to do. If indeed anything. Yeah, I didn't think he'd move. But he does light up. Right. So it kinda works, but kinda doesn't. Yeah, this is all going to be really crazy and not really going to work. Right, I was just wondering if this was going to be an easy one for to like wait a minute. Right, so if we come to here, yeah, it's got them. It isn't going to have a DT number. Now, the strange thing is here, it has got all this stuff, right? So we might be able to muck around with this a bit and get it to work. We don't want any of that. So the question is, okay, hang on. Hang on a minute. It's got a character movement. Right? When we added it as a skeletal mesh, because it's not a character, right, it basically yeah. It's because it's not got this movement. Right, it's got character movement. so it can't really be an interactable in the same way. Right, but there might be a way around about it. So I'm going to have a think about that one. Or you can just add, we could just add it to the NPC. There's no, I mean, there's no, not really much of a difference either way if you add it to an NPC. The interactable stuff. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for this afternoon. I shall probably be back at 8 PM Central. We'll be taking a look at this further off stream probably. And if you've enjoyed the stream, then hit like and subscribe. And check out the description for links to my Discord, Patreon, where you can support the game channel, and my previous game on Steam. And thank you guys for watching. I will hopefully see you again. Bye bye for now.